Welcome to Storied Audio. I used to think love was simple, two people choosing each other every day, no matter what. Rob and I had built that kind of love. We shared everything: laughter over burnt pancakes, quiet evenings tangled in blankets, whispered promises before sleep. Our apartment wasn't fancy, but it was ours, a little world we'd made together. Then Lena entered it. At first, she was just a name, a coworker. Someone Rob mentioned casually while talking about his day. But soon, her name became a constant echo in his stories, in his phone, in his smile. Lunches every day, texts every night. I tried to ignore the knot forming in my stomach, telling myself I was being paranoid. But the truth was, I could feel her presence even when she wasn't there. One night, I watched him sitting on the couch, his phone lighting up again and again. He laughed softly, a laugh I hadn't heard directed at me in days. My chest tightened. "Rob," I said quietly. "Who are you talking to?" He looked up, surprised. "Just Lena. From work." "You've been texting her every night." "She's just a friend." I swallowed hard. "It doesn't feel like just a friend." His expression changed, irritation flashing across his face. "So now I'm cheating? That's what you think?" "I didn't say that," I whispered, though my voice trembled. "I'm saying it hurts. You spend every lunch with her. You text her late at night. I feel like I'm losing you." He stood abruptly, anger radiating off him. "I can't believe this. I'm not doing anything wrong. If you're going to accuse me of something like that, maybe I should stay somewhere else for a few days." My heart cracked open. "Rob, please." But he was already packing a bag. The door closed behind him, and the silence that followed was unbearable. The days after he left were a blur of tears and empty rooms. I kept replaying our last conversation, wondering if I'd pushed him away or if he'd already been halfway gone. His toothbrush still sat by the sink. His jacket hung on the chair. Every trace of him felt like a ghost. When the knock came, I almost didn't answer. But when I opened the door, Rob's sister, Emily, stood there, her eyes kind, her expression worried. "Oh, sweetheart," she said softly, stepping inside. "Tell me what happened." I hesitated, then everything spilled out. The lunches, the texts, the laughter that wasn't mine anymore. "I think he's cheating," I whispered. "Or maybe he's falling for her." Emily shook her head. "Rob wouldn't do that. But he's being stupid, and I'll make him see it." I handed her my phone, showing her the messages, the inside jokes, the late-night conversations, the way Lena's words seemed to reach for something deeper. Emily's jaw tightened. "He should have known better," she said. That night, Emily confronted him. I wasn't there, but she told me later how it went, how she asked him straight out if he was cheating, how he looked horrified and said no, how he tried to defend himself, saying Lena was just a friend, that they had lunch and sometimes talked after work. Then Emily asked him the question that changed everything. "How would you feel if Brooke had lunch every day with another man? If she texted him late at night? If she laughed at her phone instead of with you?" She said he froze. That the realization hit him like a wave. That he finally understood what I'd been feeling. The fear, the humiliation, the ache of watching someone you love drift toward someone else. The next morning, there was another knock at my door. When I opened it, Rob stood there, looking exhausted and broken. His eyes were red, his voice low. "I'm so sorry," he said. "I would never cheat on you. Never. But I was wrong. I shouldn't have spent so much time with her. I shouldn't have let those lines blur. I didn't see how it was hurting you, and that's on me." I wanted to stay angry. I wanted to make him feel the pain I'd felt. But when I looked at him, really looked at him, I saw the regret written all over his face. The man I loved was standing there, asking for forgiveness. I didn't want to lose you," I whispered. "You won't," he said, stepping closer. "I'm setting boundaries. No more texting. No more late-night talks. At work, we talk about work. That's it." I fell into his arms, tears spilling down my cheeks. "Thank you for seeing how this made me feel." He kissed my hair. "I love you. I choose you. Always." For a while, things felt right again. We laughed. We cooked dinner together. We started to heal. But peace doesn't always come easily. A week later, while Rob was at work, someone pounded on the door. I opened it and froze. Lena. Her eyes were wild, her voice sharp. You're ruining everything. I stepped back. Excuse me? You're ruining my relationship with Rob. My pulse raced. You don't have a relationship with him, I said, my voice shaking but firm. She tried to push past me, but I shoved her back and slammed the door, locking it. My hands trembled as I texted Rob. When he got home and I told him what happened, his face went pale with anger and disbelief. This has gone too far, he said. He sent one final message to Lena, short, cold, final. Do not contact me again. Then he requested a transfer to another branch across town. No more lunches. No more blurred lines. No more chances for someone else to wedge themselves into our life. That night, he held me close, his voice breaking. I'm sorry, he whispered. I should have protected what we have. I won't let anything come between us again. I touched his cheek gently. We'll work through it. Together. Now, when I look at him, I see the man who learned what love really means, not just the easy parts, but the hard ones too. The parts where you face your mistakes, where you fight for what matters, where you choose each other even after the cracks appear. I still remember the fear. The nights I cried alone, the ache of wondering if I wasn't enough. But I also remember the moment he came back, the way his voice shook when he said he was sorry, the way he promised to do better. Love isn't perfect. It's messy and fragile, and sometimes painful. But it's also worth fighting for. Rob had almost lost me. But now, with his hand in mine, I know he never will. Not again. Subscribe to the channel for more audio stories.